Hi, welcome back. I'm Jack Skeels, CEO of Agency Agile, and we're in section 8 of this very long string of videos. I'm shooting them back to back, so I'm sort of flagging a little bit, but we'll keep on going. Almost done, almost to the finish line, and thanks for staying with me. Now, if you're going to go to battle with the consultancies, and you'll remember, by the way, we had a slide where I pointed out that the battle is around these and other skills between this CMO and CXO spot. Things that you want to be good at because the consultancies are actually getting very good at them. If you're going to stay in the space. So the idea here really was, we'll talk about what are some strategic choices that you can have in terms of how to wage that fight, how to battle that battle, if you will. One is to sort of keep your distance. And these are all valid strategies, by the way. Second is find a natural territorial boundary that's sort of defendable. Or lastly, become a big cat too. And again, these are just three points along a continuum or a whole field of choices you can choose from. All right, let's look at the first one. In this strategic posture, keep your distance. Basically, the idea is we stay in the set of things that an agency is sort of naturally inclined to, not only your core services, but experience platforms, that would be social media and other things like that, or delivery platforms, but also journey and interaction design. The idea of having customer experiences being sort of in the scope of what an agency can help the client with. Again, you can see the next things that come after that still have a bit of an agency quality to them, but this is keeping it tight, reducing your investment. Now, the benefit here is that not a lot of change involved, okay? And it turns out, there are a couple strategies. Back when I wrote these slides, this was a little bit theoretical, but now we've seen it become so true, is narrowing your vertical specialization out of this broad set of industries to a narrower set, like healthcare and banking or something like that. What can improve your performance in this sort of situation. So you get really good at doing customer journey for this type of industry, which means you're actually even deeper in those spots, right? If you're actually good at creative also, if you've got this narrowing and you kill it on creative, you may be a great candidate for some form of consultancy to hire you as well as an acquisition. That having some great deep specialties. Consultancies will typically buy agencies either because of a vertical specialization or horizontal specialization or some combination thereof. But this is a key opportunity there, I think. We've seen some uptick on that. You're leaving a lot of terrain open, right? And you're really not getting deep into the strategic side of this either. Okay? You will still have to work hard to drive the CX conversation. So some of those conversations you won't be part of because you're not ascending as high in that stack, if you will. Means maybe you're not part of those budget discussions or not the first consideration. Back when I first did this presentation, I think Martin Sorrell or someone like that said, creative will always have a place, blah, 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 right? Okay. The challenge is that increasingly creative will matter less and less. And I don't mean anything about that we'll never have TVCs anymore, TV commercials. We'll probably always have a Super Bowl. We'll probably always have commercials. The 1% or 3% of those that are really amazing and interesting, and the small percentage of CEOs who chase those things, absolutely still valid. But for the most part, it's going to be about a lot of the other pieces that we've spoken of today. Strategic posture 2 is actually coming about halfway up that and actually being in a more natural territory. The idea here is that you're going to get yourself a deeper strategic foothold inside the client, and without going beyond the idea of just us being innovative folks, like think IDEO and other Fjord and other organizations that are deep into service design and data behind it and all that kind of thing. And maybe you don't need to push all the way to the C-suite. This can be a CMO conversation or lateral integration and the like. What this requires, though, by the way, is at some point during that shift, you have to go to a client team interface that looks like working side by side, small squads with working with small squads. That's the way to do it effectively. That collaborative shift means the big reveal goes away. That may not fit for some of your people. It actually requires a level of openness and willingness to share ideas and trade ideas. In fact, what happens a lot of times is you get your really great result, but it's not clear who did it, but the process did it and the group did it, right? These engagements are a different style of structuring. It's going to start looking more management consulting. I know one of my favorite agencies we work with went to, I think it was a squad of 5 people for 5 weeks for X number of dollars. It's a full-time allocation, deep dive into solving a problem and doing ideation and creative work and technology work. And they do these sort of 5 weeks. So they had great utilization on these people for 5 weeks. And then at the end of 5 weeks, you had 5 people with 0 utilization, right? So it's a different scheduling and staffing problem as well. Of course, you can go bite the whole thing off and become a big cat as well. Work your way up to there. There are a lot of ways to do this. One is to buy a small consultancy. Another is to get bought by a small consultancy. Partner, you can partner as well. I know in some European countries, organizations like Pricewaterhouse, PwC, will partner with some agencies so they actually get this combination, this consultant agency combination. You'll make a lot more money, and you're good at actually running a lean operation, and you'll probably get some great traction at these things. And these are great benefits. These are the consultancy benefits. You do need, as I mentioned, talking about client services, you're going to need to work that a little bit differently than you do these days. And it does make a different organization. When you truly become integrated with a consultancy model, you're going to lose people. The numbers we hear, 30 to 40% of your people are in the agency because they don't want to be in a consultancy. They don't want to be client side. They like some of the freedoms, the flexibility, the variability, all those things. And you're going to spend more money. You're going to pay more for people, knowledge management, infrastructure, different levels and styles of talent and the like, and making forward investments in your clients as well. Now, a few quick final notes. I did promise some DIY steps. I think one of the best thing is get to know your clients more deeply and understand what's going on inside there. Who are the consultants? What are the initiatives, etc. Let's understand more deeply what their organization is going through. And think about, if we're going to actually play in any of those areas, what sort of staffing do we need inside of our agency? And you may have it already, but they're just not doing that. They haven't been trained, they haven't been laterally spread to actually pick up those skills as well. One of the greatest ways to do any of this stuff is ask your clients what you can do to help more. And bring up the topic of CX. Okay? Find out what's going on for them. I think one of the other things I would mention inside this list is that I talked about forward investment, and I mean it really. It's just go volunteer to go build, work on CX with them. What do you have so far for a customer journey map, customer experience concept, etc., all the pieces, and then go help them build it. Spend some time, have your people go play, make it a side project that people can get some funding to go work on and learn some new skills and build some capability in your organization. So, thanks again for watching. I'm going to give you a few little last bits here, but I do want to thank you for coming through and watching all 4 episodes of this. Hopefully you saw all 4. A quick mention also, we do some work in terms of charting the future of your agency, how to get yourself into the pod model. We do a workshop based on this, also on this video sequence in terms of where do you want to go. We do help you do client experience design. How do you want to design the experience that your clients go through in working with you as well? And of course, getting your whole team aligned on these things, we call the Leadership Alignment and Results Workshop as well. You can find that on our page, agencyagile.com/future. Just a quick mention, we do help agencies get a lot better. So if you want to get better, give us a buzz. we're very, very highly rated with our Net Promoter Score and everything as well. So if nothing else, come listen to me and business author Steve Prentice on our semi-monthly podcast called The Art of Dot Management. That's The Art of Dot Management. A lot of fun. I think the latest episode that just came out is King Kong Lee, sit down and grab a beer or something like that. It's pretty funny. Real good stuff. Again, thank you very much for listening, watching, hopefully enjoying, and thinking about how to make yourself and your agency far better competitor into this new world. Best of luck.